Here's what it looks like. Little mouse nest on the front. You know, extra, barn fresh, American Picker style. Probably need new glass. Look how scratched up the glass is from kids with quarters and shit. Honestly, the paint and the art looks really nice. And the circuit board on the inside looks like it's got no issues, no rust. Looks good. A little rust on the coin door. I usually take those out of the loop anyway. Art looks really good. Spray paint art. And then I already took the top inside, but here's the top. Here's the panel. Looks nice. There's all the electronics in the top. The only issue with this is it had some damage here, but that can just be wood glued all fine. So yeah, it should be an easy flip, I think. Welcome back. Tristan's Electronic Garage. Here we are out in the barn for once. This is probably where most of this stuff's gonna happen, just because moving these giant machines isn't something that's fun to do into the house. Yeah, this place is an absolute mess all the time, because that's how life works when you work and try to tinker with stuff and move stuff and everything. So toolbox over there is at least pretty organized. It's got some stuff hanging out of it right now because I gotta fix something, but anyways, here it is. Gottlieb Surfer. I have the glass, it's just not on there. As you can see, schematic, manual. Wow, it's a 70s machine, has an actual manual, not just the schematic. Very cool. So we have some things we got to do to this guy. First of all, new rubbers, needs them. Drop targets look all right. They don't look bad. So that's good. But no way this thing just works, right? I already turned it on once and no, it doesn't. But it does have some corrosion issues. Look at that, coming right off. Rust there. It's gonna need a little help. This was in a barn. If you saw my little YouTube short I put on of when I got it, big old mouse nest up there in the front. You can see where the rust is from that, because, you know, mice in there doing business and all that fun stuff. So anyways, let's see what it does. If I remember correctly, it fully looks like it's gonna reset. And then it gets stuck in some mode. So, and I have this kind of sitting on a little furniture cart, and I have those pieces of wood to support it. So, let's not break that any more than I already have. Here's our bus right here. I have that flipped down because it was not cooperating. Okay. So the way that flips down, and if you watch any manuals on how to do this crap, a lot of times they'll tell you, like, that these bars are a usual suspect for issues. So let's get that put back up on there. That's loosening it. That's tightening it. Yes, I think so. Yeah, there we go. Not tight enough, obviously. Okay. There we go. Okay. We plug her in. Look at that. We get lights. Kinda. It's alive. It's mostly happy. So on the front of this here, here's our game switch, right? This is tells it to start a new game. So we can hit that. And we'll see reels reset fully. And then something gets locked on. And it's that guy right there. This guy gets locked on. It's not this motor. Seems like it is the relay there. All right, so what is that relay, right? Why are you getting locked on? Well, we can pull this back down. Woo! And we can see it's the one that isn't resetting on here, which I can't really show you it. Let's try. They have little names here. So that is gonna be rollover relay, and that's B7, I think, 7B. Let's see if I can. It's so hard. It should be 7B. All right. So, with that information, let's see what we can figure out. So, here's our handy dandy how-to guide, right? So, found these before, 7B. So our game starts down here, motor. These are gonna be our switches for a new game. On and off switches on the bottom of the machine. This actually does have a button on the bottom to turn the whole console on and off. Target bank's gonna reset. Sequence bank's gonna reset. And what turns on are different ones. I think they were way up here at the top. So yeah, here's some rollovers. But ours is on the bus. So we have rollover button switch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here's the solenoids 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the only way that's on is if the switch is on, that turns A on, which turns B5 on. But I'm pretty sure that one was B7. Yeah, I'd have to double check that. See if that's actually B7. And then we're gonna find that on the schematic and go from there. Okay, that's definitely B5 in there. If that's B5, then there's only really one possible solution to why 5B is on as a solenoid. And that's if A is on, which is probably true. That probably is part of the setup sequence. But also if 5 rollover button switch is on. So we got to find 5 rollover button switch, which is the switches on top of 5B. And we got to figure out why that is getting continuity to continue to turn that on even during reset. Probably going to be something just like on the other pinball where we got two things touching that shouldn't, or something like that. So it might be really far away from where this actual issue is, because the actual touch point might be like, you know, in the back case or really anywhere. But this is going to give us a start. So I'm going to have to go through the circuit. I got to go get my multimeter, start touching around and seeing why we're getting continuity there, even when the switch is supposedly open. So if we open this switch back, and I've already tested this once, and then during the reset phase, it will just close itself again. So that 5-button switch is being activated, and putting that down, and pretty sure that's just on the back of this. It's just like that guy right there. So he's either bent or... All right, I traced us back, and I think I found our issue. Looky here. This guy is staying down. It's supposed to increase the whole value when lit. That's making 5 go back. So, why? Why are you staying down? This is gonna be a hard record, but it doesn't want to go back up. Maybe I can get my hand up under there, and if I get my hand up in here and push it, I can get it to want to go back up without damaging something else. There we go. That pushed in. We also have a barn cat. You'll see him a lot. Okay, that's back up. And he's really loud. He's been fed. Look how fat he is. He's fine. He just likes screaming. Get out of here, dude. You ain't helping. Get out of here, dude. All right, so anyways, let's turn that back on. See, we have games, 6 games. Ta-da, 6 games. I just spun the wheel. Turn it on again. All right. All right, no more stuck solenoid. That's good. Let's put this back up down here. I'll put it up and get it on the ground, or get it in a style it can be played. Put the ball in and see if we start a game. That'd be really cool. Okay. We also got to figure out why that's getting stuck. But for now, it's up, so it's not going to keep buzzing us, which is good. The cat agrees. Let's hear it. It's done. For now. Okay. Okay. So we got the play field down. We can turn the game on. We got a ball right here. We can drop it in. All right. It is in the hole. And we can start a new game by hitting the switch here. Okay. Ball released. Okay. Do I have flippers? I do. Let's launch the ball by hand. Okay, let's hit some targets here. Okay, that did something. Okay, that made a noise like it was going to tally points, but it didn't. Got some lights lighting up over here. Let's drop that in there. Okay, we got points for that. Okay, we got 200 now. Those aren't doing anything. Okay, the right side isn't doing anything. Left side is. And that is, okay, so that's not giving us points, but it is making something in the back work. Spin or something. I think it's this wheel here. We got the wheel here spinning. So, does this one work? Yeah. Is this one? Let's see if this one's gonna get stuck again. Oh, okay. Okay, but these things are working. Look, these are multiplayer when lit. Look at that. We'll knock all these targets down. All right, so yeah, our scoring wheels are quite messed up. It's like the rollover isn't hitting or something. Okay, so L is being triggered. That's triggering our wheel. It's L going off right there. Our wheel, top wheel there is spinning. Gotta figure out why you aren't spinning. Looks like you're trying to or something. Yeah, it wants to spin. It's letting it go. So, I haven't done anything to those, so we definitely need to go in and let's turn this game off. Okay. So we have some contacts on the play field that need cleaned. The 500 on this side isn't triggering. Our score wheels are mega mucked, which we expected, because this thing sat in a barn for so long. And the worst part of it is definitely the head unit. It's real dirty. So next thing I'll be doing is probably taking these off and cleaning the contacts and cleaning the wheels themselves and putting them back in. So along with replacing all the rubbers on this play field. It's missing a lot of them just straight up. Also, our bells aren't belling at all. So figure out why our bells aren't belling. But it plays a game. It releases the ball. The ball goes. Needs a lot of cleanup, and some new playfield plastics. Otherwise, and some glass on top. Otherwise, it's in okay shape, I guess, right? The big parts of it, the art, the things I can't really fix, right? The things I can't do myself. The art on the playfield and the side art is great. I want to get better at doing that stuff, but anyways, yeah. Next, we'll take the wheels out. We'll do the playfield. So probably do a time lapse of that. We'll see. All right, so there's our last reel. It's out. I'm gonna have to take this off and see how this looks. I mean, we got a lot of rust going on and stuff like that. Take that completely apart, but it's actually really easy. So I'll show you. You just pull this little plastic tab back and then it just pulls straight out. It's really that easy. This one seemed to be working great. These two didn't really update at all. So, I mean, and we haven't even attempted to do anything with a player 2 yet, so we're gonna have to get that out. Yeah, but that was pretty easy. So, cleaning this guy out. I'll probably watch some videos myself on the best ways to clean these, because I know I've washed them in the past, do some reading, figure out the best way to get these guys working again. Because I think what was happening is this was trying to increase, because I got that bonus or whatever, because I hit all the targets, and it was not able to because this wheel would not spin. And since it wouldn't spin, it wouldn't update. Looks like our contacts are connected, but man, are they rough. So we'll have to trace those back and see if they actually are making a good connection or not in the back of this thing, because, shoo, they are toasted. So, anyways. Before I was showing you I needed to clean all these, right? So, let's actually clean them. So what you're going to want to do is come in here and pull this tab back, and you'll hear it click. And I have this sitting weird. Let it come back to me. There we go. And then this will pull right back like that. And there you go. Now we can remove these two screws here. And then we got this clip. Should be able to get it. Oh man. Need a smaller one. And that comes off. And then we can take this part off. Okay, technical difficulties. So we got the wheel off. One thing you're definitely going to want to look at is when you take the wheel off, this is going to be attached. Does your contacts. And right here is a little nub that sticks out. And that nub is what tells you how this should go back together. So you're going to want to get a little file like this and file down this contact and this one. Mine are pretty shiny, so they're all good to go. And here, if I don't move you guys around too much, you can still see all right. I already took this gear out of here. He sits down here on the spring, and you want to make sure the first tooth of him is hitting the first gear over here, so he has full throw later on. So like that. So we're going to pull him out. We're going to pull the wheels out, and we're going to do that for all of them so that we can throw all of these wheels into our ultrasonic cleaner. And then we're going to assemble them back together. And just to show you what I'm going to do here, I have 400 grit sandpaper. Don't need that much, really. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just slightly sand this electrical part. And it's going to get nice and shiny. Look at that. Nice and shiny again. And then I'm going to get some Teflon grease. And I'm going to rub it on the inside of this. And I'm going to rub it here on this mechanism. And this guy's going to be good to go. Now, if you get the grease from Pinball Resource, the PBR grease, that is supposedly does not interrupt your electrical contacts. So you can actually put it right here. I've seen some people that put it right on the, so that when your wheel goes around, there's no rubbing here. There's no damage to this. And our springs are pretty rusted, so I might take the springs out and put them in the Vaporust. We're gonna see what I want to do. I probably not going to film this part because it's just so time consuming. And I'm just doing the same thing 8 times. But just know that I'm taking these off. I'm sanding these. I'm putting grease on the plastic parts and on the inside of the wheel. And then I'm putting it all back together. And when I have these all cleaned up, I will film the very last one, putting that one together, so you can see the process of putting them all back together. But I'm also going to get in here and clean because, here, I'll show you. The inside of this is just, like, look at that. It's gross. It's gross, man. So we're going to clean that up. Get this all nice. So, yeah. And then we'll get the thing scoring accurately again, which will be awesome. So, till I'm back. So just because you missed it, here's the second one. I figured I might as well film this because I didn't let you in on it the first time. So I got this part off. This is what this is going to look like. This little plastic piece is going to come off. That piece is going to come off. And then the whole wheel is going to come out. And then under that is this gear, and as you can see, one tooth in. That is how it should look like when it goes back together. And I'm showing you that for my sake and yours, because I want to remember how this goes back together. There's the spring and our plastic piece. And then here's our rusty spring in here. And then also we're going to want to do all these contacts while we're in here already. Make sure they're all scraped off. So, and that's all there is to it. So let's do the rest of them and get this going again. Okay, quick other note. So your first 2 reels, see I've numbered them. They're not going to have that on the back because they are not the decagon units. These are going to be your tens place and your singles place. So they don't have to worry so much about what's going on upstream, I guess. So these are, the first 2 are not going to have that. They're not going to have this copper on the back. They're very simplistic. This one looks like it's been taken apart a few times. It's missing a bolt. So it's just this clip here. So we'll get that off. Like that. And then it's got the same spring, but it's got another washer, it looks like, and then the plastic washer, then the wheel unit, the gear, and the spring. So we'll clean in here. Not really sure exactly how these ones work, considering they don't have that, but maybe it's because they don't care about what happens upstream. Probably because only a single thing can trigger them, and they don't impact in front of it as much. So yeah, we'll clean this up. We'll clean up all our plastic parts, and when I start putting them back together, or when I put the last one together, probably, I'll show how I do that. So cool. All right, so we cleaned all of these score reels, and it still resets like crazy slow. When I watch them reset online, it's like brrr, and they all go. But here it's like so I think we got some issues yet. And the back of the head here is definitely the worst of, like, the underside's really fine. It was covered. The back of this wasn't really covered. I have the back, but it was open, so all of this is quite nasty in here. So I'm gonna take this wheel off and clean that, and we're gonna have to take, hopefully we can get this metal piece off pretty easily, and then we can get at all those wheels behind there and clean all these contacts, because there is so many contacts in here. And I'll probably take the air compressor to it because it's very dirty. And then, see if you can see it. We also want to do these up here. This being the whatever it's called, the free score relay, or this is the one that, it's a small wheel that spins, and it's got one on each side, right? Yeah, I see it. And that thing's got to be disgusting. I guarantee it. So we're going to take that off. Anyways, these wheels spin, but very slowly, and I think cleaning this stuff up is going to help that. I think our voltage is just really slow, considering these are probably disgusting. So, all right, start the montage or whatever, I guess. Here we go. Okay, so we got this cleaned up, but now, like, watch this. This spring, see it gets stuck? Getting stuck sometimes. We gotta figure out how to fix that. I think we gotta take this off and clean these out. See how this goes. Again, I'm no expert at this, but I'm taking you along on the journey. And it helps me to record it anyways, because when I forget something or can't figure something out, or took something apart and don't know how to get it back together, well, I can refer back to this video. And that's very helpful. So, this whole thing looks like it can come off this wall with a bunch of screws. And then we can check this out. So I turned it on to see how it would do. Seems to be rotating better, but still gets stuck. which makes sense considering we haven't gotten back into this whole mess yet. So, oh boy, I can take this front, well, no I can't, that's connected right there, that'd be a pain in the butt. Okay, the whole thing's coming off the wood, how about that? Let me get a much longer screwdriver here, much longer. I really need to take it off, and that whole thing would come off, and then I can really maintenance it. So or does it flip down? Definitely coming off. All right, it looks like our wonderful overlords have thought about this and made this flip down, and then just put a clip in here on each side to take the whole thing off. Clip and clip, and then lift. Look at that. So this wheel is really gross and everything else. Make sure you got that in frame. Yeah, it's gross in there. So I'm gonna get the vacuum cleaner. We're gonna clean this out. And I'm gonna have to do all these contacts as well. So, all right, let's do it. I just need that little vacuum, push it around. That little vacuum. I got my little brushes over here, don't I? A little brush. My little brush at. There's my little brush. Now I need my little vacuum, which I had in its little box. I found my little attachments. Oh, right there. Okay, that did a lot, but it's still got a lot of crap in there, so I'm gonna get a mask on, and I'm gonna get the air compressor going. Where's my masks? There we go. And we're gonna give her hell. So, let's do it. So, the symptom we are having is that it would let us play forever. The counter that counts the games is the player relay, or the player wheel. That's this big plastic wheel with all these switches on it, all right? And that controls the reset at the beginning of the game. The issue was that if you look back, we had a number on here that didn't reset. I think it was the second place. So everything comes back to these wheels not working. Literally everything. So that is an issue we had to fix. We still have it sometimes when you get points, it doesn't count or whatever. But now it's fully reset and it thinks it has one player. This light here means one player. If there's two lights, it means you have two players. And these lights at the top tell you which ball you're on, and ball 1 light is burned out. I need to put a new bulb in it. But anyways. Okay. So, with the game fully reset and all the zeros, we can put a ball in, and it is going to play player 1. All right, so give player 1 some points. Looks like our, there it finally went. All right, and this is only a one player game because only player 1's lit up there, right? So, and look, now it's the second ball because the second light is lit up there. All right, and give ourselves a few more points, whatever, and then lose that one. Ball 3. This light is game over. Now we have a feature of 2, or 20. So if we have a 20 in our thing, then we get a free game. That wasn't plugged in, now it is, so that should work now, the bonus feature thing. But now it's gamed over. Now if we give it another, look, fully reset, gives us the ball, 1 player. Now if I hit it again, look, now we have 2 players. So if I take my ball, get some points. Look, now the bottom lights are on, because this is now player 2's ball 1. He's got the same problem too, where his 10,000 still want to work. But anyways, if I lose that ball, look, we're going to switch back to player 1, and he is now on ball 2. So the player unit's working, which is awesome. Now I want to do all the stuff under this, get the bonus wheels to work. The bonus is up here. That's not really working. Get all these lights to work. The bonus gets stuck sometimes. When the bonus gets stuck, it just keeps giving the player points and never stops. That's an issue, right? So we got to fix that. Everything else really seems to work. All the surface things. Oh, so we got to fix the bonus wheel, bonus unit wheel. We need to fix this wheel. I got to figure out what that is exactly. And we got to fix the drop targets. The drop targets do not pop back up when the game's over. So we got to figure out why that is. And then this thing will be pretty much ready to go. Minus fixing the wheels issues. So we got to fix the wheel issues too. But even with the wheel issues, it's a working game. We got to make sure all these bonus and add bonus, extra bonus, blah, 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 make sure all that works. So I'm going to get under the hood here, and we're going to get at that. All right. right, a lot of progress has been made in the technical repair of this guy. So, current issue was, if I get all 5 of these and all my drop targets are down, it just keeps spinning and giving me points and not stopping. And the G relay down here keeps firing. And I'm sitting here scratching my head, trying to figure out why would it do that. And then I thought, okay, what is supposed to happen? So I had to look up some videos on YouTube and figure out what is supposed to happen when I get all of 5 of these down and all 5 of the drop targets down. Because, do these just stay down till the game resets? And the answer is yes, unless you get all 5 of these. If you get all 5 of these, that's supposed to come back up. And what's happening is all 5 of those are getting hit, and all 5 of those are getting hit, and then the motor just won't stop spinning. Just won't stop. And, okay, so that's not coming up. So why isn't that coming up? I don't know. Well, let me show you the symptom again. So this is 1, 2, 3. This is 6, and that's 4, 5. Okay, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are our buttons up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so they're all pressed, but 2. So if I press 2 down, it starts spinning, and it won't stop. And that's because it's trying to reset. It should reset this the bar here, but it's not resetting the bar. Okay, so this is our issue. The bar's not resetting, right? So if I push one of these up, it stops because the bar doesn't need reset anymore. So it's fine. It's happy. Also, if I push that down, push the drop target back down, and I deactivate one of those, it's going to stop. One of the 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 5s. And 6 only goes down when they're all down. And that triggers your bonus and a bunch of other fun stuff, right? Okay. So, all of this led me to my issue when I came over here and said, okay, my drop target isn't going down, or my drop target isn't triggering. Here's the solenoid that's supposed to put my drop targets back up. Wait a minute. That's not connected to anything. Oh, that's why you're upset. So there it is. So just follow the schematics, follow how the game's supposed to function, and you will come to the correct conclusion 99% of the time. Just it's all logic. It's all, you know, in school I love digital system design, and this is the most basic sense of digital systems. Everything is right in front of you. There's no ICs doing 500 computations per second, doing AND gates, OR gates, nor each thing is its own gate, which makes it really easy for me to understand. Other people look at this and go, you know, holy shit. But it's not so bad. It's not so bad. Once you just take it down to a schematic and understand the schematic, it will all make sense. All right, so I'm gonna get that soldered back up and we're gonna see if that fixes our issue, and I bet you it does. All right, I'll be back. Okay, use a soldering iron and got that in there. We got a new game started. It's keeping scores. So now we should be able to drop our drop targets. And 5 targets for 500 each. Does the math make sense? Should give us 25, and we had 5, so yes, that makes sense. And then we can hit these. The light should light up. This one's really dim. I gotta figure out. That's a new bulb too. I don't know why it's dim. And back up come the bumpers. Look at that. And we have a multiplayer bonus. And that should have lit this light, but it looks like it didn't. Oh, there it lit it. I don't know why that took it so long. Maybe it's hung up. Okay, and now we have 9,000 times 2, and we have 15,000 on there, so that should give us 18,000. So we should have, what is that? 33,000 after. So we lose our ball. Hey, I can do math. There you go. And then when the new ball comes out, it resets the play field, all the specials are gone, and it's back to doing its thing again. So there we go. This thing, I gotta test all the surface point systems again, but this game is completely working now in a basic standpoint. Now, I still gotta mess with the score wheels. Because you saw that my 10,000s place doesn't like to go sometimes. Now it's gonna make a liar out of me and go every time. See there, it didn't go. Why not? I don't know. I'm still working on that, okay? But that will be the last part, is me. I'm really probably just gonna be bending springs and lubing parts until it works, because I really don't know why it's being like that. It's true for both of them, the top and bottom. Top and bottom of 10,000 doesn't want to go most of the time. So. But ball 3, I have it set up for 5 balls. Ball 4. Ball 5. And game over. Game over lights on now. So, and then our feature was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 60. We had to have 60. So I got to test that and see if it gives us a new game, a free game for having the right number up there. All right, cool. I'll be back once I figure out that back number thing, and that'll probably be the wrap-up video, because I think we got everything working on this guy. Sweet. All right, what's next? We're missing one of the paddles here. Let me get this out and I'll show you the issue. All right, as you can see, this is for the bumper up top. This guy. You saw us take that out on plane if you watched the other video, but anyways, this is missing one of the contacts. See, it's supposed to have 2 here that touch each other, and one's missing. It says it's supposed to have 2 because you got both wires there, right? So I gotta get that tore apart, and I have a new one to go in there, and then we'll have all the panels we're supposed to have again. Let me put you guys over here. Yeah, you can see it right there. So when I take this one off, this whole assembly is going to fall apart, so make sure we remember how that looks like for my own sake. There it goes. Those things can't do one piece. Well, here, I'll show you what I got. It's the replacement part I got. And it's missing a piece, but I just need these two bottom ones, so we're just gonna, you know, take that one. Do you get this apart? There we go. Like that, apparently. Alright, we got that piece off. He's right here. Here's the old one. I guess we'll desolder him, solder this one in. And our new one doesn't have a little end piece, so I put some solder on it, and I'm going to put a piece of the old copper on this and see if that holds up all right. So let me solder this on. I probably won't show that just because, you know, whatever. I'm just gonna I already put some solder on that. I'm gonna solder a little piece of copper on the end of that, and I'll show you when it's done. Okay, so got that mostly soldered up. There it is. That's our tab. We're gonna put that in there. We gotta desolder the old guy and put the new guy on, and then this guy will be ready to go. So let's take him out of there. We don't want to be touching that, do I? Yes. That looks good. So, and go like this. Boom. And it will be held up into that one. Yes. And then we just got to put the thing back together with the little cup on top and the little plate on bottom. Like that. Now I just need the nuts and the backer plate. Backer plate, 2 nuts. You guys probably aren't seeing much of anything right now. I do apologize. It is near impossible to get you this shot. Okay, I got 8 nut on, so let me fix you. So there it is. All right, all back together, and now we got the bottom unit now, and it's soldered onto him, and they aren't going to touch. So make sure that they don't. Bend him out. There we go. Okay, now I just got to get that back up in there. So I'll put you back over here, and we're going to screw that back in. Okay, well, I got tired of trying to get that screw in there, and we just took the whole dang thing out. And if you've been watching these videos, you're probably sitting there screaming at me saying, just take it out, because you're coming up to do these soon anyway. So we took it out. I'll set you guys right here. You can I'll get these out of your way, and then you'll see where we're working. I just have it sitting on a bunch of blankets. But, like I said, we're just trying to get this guy back in here, and I bet you now that it's on the ground, this will be a million times easier than standing there and doing it upside down, so. There's that, and that is in the cup, right? Yep, if I can reach under here, I can, yep. And then this will, about this side. Okay, so both of these need to be under that, so let's take this back up. Make sure that's under that, like the other one. There we go. I flipped up on top of it again, huh? So it looks like this is supposed to push them onto each other, and when it's pulled back, they don't touch. So let's bend them down. This one's got a lot more freeness to it than the other one. But that looks right. move on to doing the bank here. Okay, now we're going to take this bank out. It's the last thing we have to do that I know of mechanically that isn't working just right. So we're going to take 4 bolts out of the base plate. 1, put those right here. 2. Three. 4. Now this whole thing should be loose. And it is, other than the wires. And now we should take this back plate off. What else is holding these 2 pieces together? I see them right here. Those weren't holding very good. They're starting to come out. That one was. You can see how dirty that is there. We're going to clean this all up in here. And we're going to take these targets out. So I think the next thing I got to do is just get this back plate loose. And then I should be able to pull these out. But I definitely want to get these springs... Sorry. I definitely want to get these springs detached from the pads first. Because otherwise we'll lose them. So, a few right there. And they should just pull off. Wow, these are really hard to get off here. There, that's how you do it. We want to put that back on there so we don't lose it. Then that can come out. There we go. So we're gonna get this guy in here. We're gonna push that off of that plastic. Oh man, it really don't want to go. You gotta make it go. Make it. Okay, now we gotta get this foot off. How the hell did I do that again? Oh yeah, like that. And then out. And then make sure you don't lose the spring. Put the spring back on there. Okay, all the screws are in there. A little oxidation on this bar, but that bar isn't necessarily in the up and down mechanism. The only thing in the up and down is this back plate, really. So we're gonna make sure this back plate is nice and clean. Looks like our second one is missing a little plate for the thing to rest on, but I don't think it's impacting performance at all, considering the game plays fine. Because that's just what it sits on, huh? And then this comes up and that's what triggers it. So, okay, well, all of these are definitely going in the ultrasonic cleaner. They're pretty gross. And when they're done, I'll show you what they look like. I'll zoom out. When they're done, I'll show you what they look like. And then we're gonna come over here and we're gonna clean this pad up real good, sand it, and then let's reassemble. And it should be the last thing I got to do to this mechanically. Everything else works great. Just got to put it back together. So, all right. Much cleaner. Cool. Let's get them back in. That looks good. Okay. Now, let's get it back in there, huh? No. There we go. Okay, that's all 4 of them back installed and cleaned. This one seems to have a messed up foot, but I think it'll be okay. If not, I'll take it back off and I'll replace this plastic piece, but I think it's gonna be okay. Now, I'm gonna put everything back together and turn it on and this should be the last mechanical repair I have to do. Everything else seems to be working just fine, so let's see. All right, there it is, all back together. Still don't have the back plate on, but it's playing a game right now. Keeping score well. Does seem to be moving nicely. Okay, and this should wrap up the mechanical repair of this machine. Now, if you want to watch the artistic repair, some of that has already happened throughout this video. I've made them kind of in parallel, but that video will be coming shortly, if not before this one. I don't know what. Most likely this one will be posted first, and if it's not out yet, it should be out soon. But this guy's going to go into my basement for now. Will probably be for sale eventually. I'm going to enjoy it for a little bit first. But there'll be probably a very long video that's going to be time-lapsed most of the time, showing how I cleaned this thing and got it back to the working order. Now, you'll see at the start of that video that this thing was actually found in a barn with a rat's nest up on the playfield. You can kind of see where that was. That rat's nest was right up here. And then looks like their, droppings had ruined this part of the board. But I'm going to try to fix that up the best I can. I have seen videos like Joe's Classic Video Games. I love watching him. Shout out. Where he does a wood-colored stain, well, not stain, but paint, and makes it look a lot better by just painting the wood the color that the other wood is. I don't know if I want to try that. I'd be too worried. I'd be making it worse, to be honest, but I definitely want to see if my fiance Sierra can touch up that paint up there, that red paint, as well as that light blue. I think she'd do a great job at color matching it and everything, but yeah, I really wish I took this board out sooner, like just took it out and, worked on it upside down, but I didn't, and I regret that. This was a first time working on one of these this in-depth. I mean, I've worked on these before, but never one this rough. Yeah, straight out of like a barn out in the middle of nowhere. I talked to this lady for months. She wanted crazy amounts of money for this because she Googled it and thought it was worth a bajillion dollars. But as it sat, I mean, it didn't work. It looked gross. It had a rat's nest in it. So I talked her down. And not kidding, 6 months later, she finally reached out and was like, hey, I need to get rid of this thing. Come get it. And I did. So still got some bulbs to replace. You'll see that in the time-lapse video. And we're also going to get the legs redone. They're sitting over here on the ground. See how gross they are? We're going to go get them sandblasted and hopefully powder coated at a place in a nearby town. So cool. Thanks for following along. That was the mechanical restoration of this beautiful Surfer 1976, I'm pretty sure, or 1976 Gottlieb Surfer. Stay tuned for more. Whenever I get my hands on another one, I'm doing another video. So yeah, and look out for the cosmetic repair coming soon. All right.